Hello and welcome to a new video. My name's Dan Blackwell and today I'm going to be showing you how to use and mix up my favourite silverfish ground bait, and that is Sonubaits Supercrumb Black. This ground bait's been awesome to me over the last few months and I've had some incredible weights of roach, up to 40 pounds. The reason why I feel this ground bait is so good is because it's very low on food content and it's got no fish meal in it at all. It's brilliant on canals, rivers and even commercial fisheries where the fish are starting to wise up to the pellets and fish meal ground baits. Now, let me show you how to mix it up. Mixing ground bait is very simple, but there's a couple of little tricks just to make life a lot easier. Right, I'm only going to use about half a bag today. Stick that in there. I've got my water ready and I've got the loose feed that I'm going to be putting inside the mix. I will say it's very important to use a round mixing bowl just so the ground bait doesn't get stuck in all the corners. You can mix it around nicely and I just find it makes life a lot easier. So now we're going to start adding the water. It's important to mix it up quite vigorously, and I like to mix it up quite wet as this ground bait tends to absorb a lot of the water and dry out quite quickly. So as you can see it's really wet, but that's nothing to worry about because what I do now, I leave it 15 minutes or so and then just come back to it, sieve it, and then I add my loose feed. So let's wait 15 minutes for it to absorb. Right, so all my end tackles set up. I've decided to set up a line at 13 metres and another line about 6 or 7 metres. And on the short line, I'm going to loose feed cast over the top. Right, so the ground bait's all sorted now. It was very wet before, but as you can see now, it's perfect. It's the perfect consistency that you want. You can form a nice ball just by squeezing it with one hand. That's what you want. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sieve the ground bait. I do this just to get all the lumps out of the ground bait that have just absorbed that little bit more water. Right, now I'm just going to gently shake the bowl just to get all these lumps out of my ground bait. For silverfish, I like having the mix as fine as I can. Right, so now you can see there's a lot of lumps on there. A lot of people throw them away, but I'm just going to rub them with my hand. There you have it, the perfect ground bait mix for silverfish. All we need to do now is add the loose feed. I'm going to add some casters into this mix and also some dead maggots. I never feed live bait in my ground bait unless I'm fishing the canal with squats. Now I know for a fact, because I've seen some underwater footage, that maggots and pinkies are very bad for digging into the silt, and within seconds the bait's invisible on the bottom. They've buried themselves in the muck. So that's why I freeze my maggots so they lay on the bottom and they're not going anywhere unless the fish eat them. So I'm going to add a pinch of dead maggots and also the same amount of casters. And I'm going to mix that up. And there we have it. Right, so that's the lines fed. I've decided to put 2 balls of ground bait on the 13-metre line and 1 ball short. Right, now I'm going to catch some fish. This feels like a decent fish. Fell to a single caster. I think it could be a skimmer. We've had a couple of these today, also a few roach bream hybrids. They've been going mad for this non-fish meal ground bait. I've not seen anyone else on the lake catch, so just goes to show this is definitely what they want, and that does look like a nice fish. Just using a single 5 elastic, just Preston original slip, really soft, but it's brilliant for these roach. And also, as you can see, skimmers don't really fight, so you don't need to fish too heavy for them. Lovely fish, probably about 2 pounds. Just a small roach this time. This is going to be our last fish of the session. Been fishing about 4 hours or so. We've had a load of fish, loads of bites. I'm going to get some gear packed away and then we'll have a little look at what I've caught. Decent weight of fish there. Well, look at that, what a lovely bag of fish. Only 4 hours fishing and there's a good 25 pound of fish here. I mean, we've had some lovely roach bream hybrids, up to about 2 pounds. Some nice bream, and some lovely average size roach as well. I mean, a lot of 6 ounce fish. It's been a brilliant day. I mean, it just goes to show, these fish don't always want fish meal. Some cracking fish in this net. I've never caught a roach bream hybrid from this lake, and I've caught about 4 today. Some real good stamped fish. A lot of these roach, I think, are just getting ready to spawn as they're really rough skinned. Thanks for watching, and tight lines.